My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. See thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com.
8:34 a.m. License 7JXR324 at Shiro's Liquor at 8:34 a.m. 8RKM476 5ANM027 It's 8:38 a.m. JRY422 8TPA217 21794W2 8SHK182 8KBU720 7POS 749 0453 90082D3 5ENX079 92767Z1 Liberty Landscaping, license plate 31716G1 7BTX 335 00646 81147V2 Utility Tree Service LLC, license 09324K1 8RMH971 6LUV662 44162K3 6UFW204 I'm San Bernardino County crossing path driving westbound on Hope Boulevard, which is where I'm at right now. Standing at the bus stop of the B&G Plaza, where the entity is engaging in what is patrolling, group stalking, reading the license plates. This is the systematic method of group stalking conduct. 4LWX787 52311M2. It's 8:40 a.m. 7817 8D3. It is currently 8:41 a.m. 9395. I can't really see the rest of them. You could scratch that. FZL108 7JXX391 14383K3 8WAB819 I believe 7FJR144 8VZD073 and that is 8WAH819. That's the correct license, not 8WAB819. 8:43 a.m. 7NRE 206, 6DOE 781. 8EBR 586, 5CVW 774. 10979T2, that's SCM Construction Incorporated, excuse me. 8KIZ 399. 7RIX 402. 67890Z1. 6KHA 627. 64685E2. 7YAB 218. 8ZNT 319. 8XEB 108. 8THB 273. 8LYR 846. 8JVL 458. 8WWF 785. 98MP 871. 8DGN 469. 8ZKF 655, I believe. Eight EVX 121. 7THS 607. 8:45 a.m. Omnitrans, license 1545833, bus 2353 at 8:46 a.m. 5SNM 505. It's 8:53 a.m. 8SYZ 515, 7HTV 886. 8GQM 278.
Stop requested. If possible, please use rear doors.
Sí, para usar en la puerta.
These demons engage in pressing stop requests. It creates light activity. Alright, the bus driver, first of all, it's sound on the bus, but also the brake lights are pulling off to the side. Other vehicles reacting. They're stalking the path with light. 4VHH235. That's why these demons are engaging in the ongoing pattern of using that as a method of stalking with activity, and also requesting stops for purposes of pacing on and off the bus. Minion gets on, minion gets off. Minion says, "Oh, I'm sorry, wrong bus." Activity creation is accomplished. It's the P.O.C. Just want to point that out. It's 8:55 a.m. Person stops. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong stop. Oh, is this the way? Oh, I thought this was. Oh, can you help me with it? It's a P.O.C. And the P.O.C. with regard to the elements of monitoring. Elements of monitoring. They're doing maintaining the element. Right activity, relevant positioning. License 14902L2. This is Glenn B. Dorning. 6EJP873. BF90V28 paper. 8JOW336. 7BSK 514. And this is the Minion Daniel Luna monitoring with the people of the state who are on board of the bus engaging in this demonic activity, monitoring together. License 06037B2 at the Glenn B. Dorning. This is 1744 Hull Boulevard.
Then your dog knew.
TGS 665.
Please use rear doors.
Sí, posible. Favor, usar la puerta trasera.
Hey, sir. Speaking.
Alright, license 6BZJ075. At the Circle K, stuck in the path of light activity. Circle K is at 1850 East Holt Boulevard at 8:57 a.m. IRAQVTN. It's 8:58 a.m. 7RHF 657 8UKR 637. 8FMU 916. BA059 handicap. 8MQL 910. 7MGL 724. 94595H3. That's the Ontario Airport shuttle. 12A3GA Nevada. 00774 M2 Bell Cab. SoCal Gas stalking in the path with light activity at the airport. Just parked next to the bushes in a SoCal Gas vehicle and with flashing light, maintenance of light activity. This is in between Terminal 2 and Terminal 4. License 7CWB170. XDX209, 8SQR591, 8YRA077, 964PC handicap, and 8ADK393, 80338Y1 bell cab. KSE 458, 7PQL 168, 5PBY, I can't see that, sorry. 7314272. It's 9:02 a.m. 8XRA 077, 7XPE 765. 6DLS 311, I believe. At the I'm on Archibald, so driving north on Archibald Avenue on the freeway bridge for the 10 freeway at the Geologic Associates venue, creating light activity on the side of the road and crossing path. It's 9:05 a.m. 8UOW098 3UMV924 5SVT939 Stalking with Light 1602392 City of Ontario at the Multi-Specialty Dental Care on Inland Empire. Right, it's adjacent to the Archibald at the corner of Inland Empire and Archibald. And that mobile gas station is located at 670 North Archibald, 8XQN422. YRU411. 7YTW. I can't see the rest of them. 7BNX373, 7EQN502, 8JGK989. C57N25 paper. BTM 7879 Washington 8RBK025 Coca-Cola UPS crossing path on Haven and Illinois Boulevard. RYN487 8EWW012 7FFH619 7
Ontario Mills. Service by P.O.C. 61, 81, 82, and RPA.
It is 9:12 a.m. We're at the Ontario Mills. C3, I believe. Or you can scratch that one because I couldn't see that. I can't remember that. 7BCC878. That one's correct. 8WTV683. You can scratch the other one. 4476982. 4UHP204. 8JOU. I can't see that one. You can scratch that one. 7LLN 376 274 WM handicap 00908 W2 7RAV 677 3XBY 725 7VES 728 8YBU 077, 8ZZU 285, 6XUZ 500, 7JJX 323. Seven VWT 586.
Stop requested. If possible, please use rear doors.
8ZZU 285. I think I read that one
Favor
already.
usar la puerta trasera.
And it's currently 9:46 a.m. KARRAA. Eight MTY 967, 8 JJV 038, 7 ZAF 266, 8 CBA 687, 5 FFN 722.
Fontana Metrolink Transit Center. Service by
Arriving at the Metrolink train station of
10,
Fontana at 9:48 a.m.
15, 19,
1535 425, bus 1342, 1234 506, bus 1209.
312. Victorville Valley Transit. B-Link and Metrolink. Please do not jaywalk.
1479379,
Or you may receive a ticket.
bus 1314. It's 9:48 a.m. Alrighty, again, this is the bus that I'm on, subject to the P.O.C. It's bus 2353, license 1545833, and this was operated by same third party operating yesterday as well. This is Daniel Luna is the name. The employee number that is displayed is 3015. It is 9:49 a.m. at the Fontana Metrolink train station. License 1387137, bus 1258. And license 1420241, bus 1262. Alrighty, so what I'm capturing in images is the light source, which is right over my head. And Omnitrans is engaging what is stalking, lining the path with light activity. And that's what bus 1258, 1292 are doing. They're surrounding the perimeter. They're doing so along the sidewalk. That's what they're doing as they are parked at the bus stops, creating light activity. But I'm showing you what is the P.O.C. Not different than any other third-party group stalking, engaging in surveillance, parking their vehicle on the sidewalk, stalking the path with light. That's what Omnitrans is doing. It's third-party conduct. It's 9:50 a.m. Minions come behind. Those are demons that are stalking with audible activity as I take a picture. It's ultra pathetic what an entity engages in. Anyway, it's 9:50 a.m. I'm in Fontana and getting over congestion because I don't get sick, but I am getting over some minor congestions. I'm going to document anyway. If you can't already tell, I will continue to document, but I'd rather do it less congested. It is 9:51 a.m. License plate 7TJX649 6DUU724 8VNZ056 8KLF411 4HHF302 8MQN531 43539J2 095VH handicap 8ZHT348 CC59Z73 paper 8DOE958 7HDE550 8XHZ421 8MBS128 6MNE780 4UEW383 8R70319 14799X2 2 TIY742 75046J3 65808G3 8JNN586 89584D1 7BZE522 7XRD832 7YSK670 8XNR667 8UGC831 6NFT168 8SNM627 8LJ8278. It's 9:54 a.m. I'm walking south, not south, I'm walking north on Sierra Avenue. 8KVY229, the symbol heart, YTERNO. 8ZRM268, 8ZZU285. 4ZKV186. 1559474 California exempt 7554 6Z2 8LRA503 JB Hunt license plate 3ET086 Oklahoma 8MKN556 6GWB751 6LRB136 7MVA305 8NLD887. And now I'm proceeding to walk what is east on Arrow Boulevard. 8HFP971, excuse me, I'm walking west on Hope Boulevard. West on Arrow Boulevard, excuse me. License plate 8TRN455 29570G3 74129L2 at the intersection again of Arrow Boulevard and Sierra Avenue. Okay, and I took a picture because I don't want there to be any confusion. While I often say, for example, Holden, Ontario, so I am not in Ontario. I've gotten on the bus route, which again, I documented that as well. So I am indeed walking west on Arrow Boulevard in Fontana. 6ZYG809. 6X30789. Group stalking in that parking lot. That's the one you hear walking by me right now with their phone. 8XMZ328. License 8KTL 862 05403D3. These are demons engaging in what is pacing in the aggregate. You've got a duo of demons, for example, like what they just did, driving in the opposite direction, or driving in the same direction at a stop sign, then turning onto the street in relevant position in opposite directions. This is 7LZD114. These are methods of group stalking. Presence in the path. You're thinking of what is, for example, if you could imagine like electrical cords, or not even necessarily electrical cords, just like a string. Anything. I'm just speaking to what is, you're imagining what is presence in the path. Their objective is maintaining presence around me, doing so in both directions. So in your mind, picture an electrical cord, just for purposes of what is monitoring, like an electrical cord or whatever. And as they're driving by that cord, they're driving by me, driving onto Arrow, going west, driving by me, going onto Arrow, going east. And those cords that are connected to those vehicles, this is for purposes of providing a picture in your mind. This is relevant to what is the monitoring conduct. They're with communication devices surrounding my path, and that cord is nothing other than a method of, so that you are understanding what they are doing with regard to monitoring conduct and movement around an engineered light, okay? And with regard to what is the spiritual aspect, this is demonic, and the objective of the demon possessed is to engage in this surrounding sort of conduct. 8ALY676, while they pay very close attention to every physical movement that you make and conduct on a communication device. DT539 handicap 6VSW008. And so with regard to the electrical cord, which I'm just asking that you picture this in your mind, it's for purposes of an illustration. This is this purpose of driving by and going in the opposite directions, which an entity is doing on a constant basis, including via aircrafts. The entity is engaging in what is surrounding with the presence in that specific environment where monitoring with communication devices is underway. All right, and this pacing conduct, and that's why it's referred to as pacing, because it's the same entity that is outwardly appearing as though they're separate or going about ordinary, normal, everyday life, right? One not necessarily tied to the other at all whatsoever. But this is not the case. They're actually one entity engaging what is group stalking. And these are also connected by their condition. It's demonic. It's systematic. It's in sync with each other. It is that which is of the demonic, and it is also serving that criminal system where they are monitoring with communication devices together. And the demon possessed, they don't have to get up and have any meeting. You're talking about what's involved. They don't know where I'm necessarily going to go. Okay, now I'm limited with regard to the theft of my vehicle and all of that, but they don't know specifically where I'm going to go. So this is also speaking to what the entity does with the environment. I mean, it becomes either a cloudy day or a sunny day based on my heavy documentation of which direction that I go. But also you're talking about what is the ability. This is the demon possessed that are acting. This is, for lack of a better term, intuitive with regard to what is satanic. All right, they're not holding on a meeting because you're not able to forecast what I'm specifically going to do. All right, so you're not able to read my mind, but you are stalking. And you are doing so on a systematic basis, and it's in a specific environment, and it is not possibly that you're in that scientific impossibility, which is that environment, and also ongoing coincidences with regard to your conduct, which also seems to facilitate the way in which you monitor with communication devices. That's not occurring coincidentally, and while the entity is stalking directly. These are all of the fact patterns and the hallmarks that are speaking to a system. And when you are talking about what is the significance, as I'm showing you, people that are driving by, walking by, all right, for example, sitting inside a Starbucks, a third party walks by me inside of the cafe, a third party drives by me while they're exiting the drive-thru. They are pacing together on both sides of me. It's the same thing when I'm walking on the sidewalk and demons are driving by on the street in opposite directions. They're covering both paths in my way. This is the objective of the demon possessed. And I'm just saying, picture an electrical cord, because their purpose is, it's not just that act that it's ongoing. First of all, repeatedly crossing path, and that electrical cord is for purposes of understanding in your mind what they're doing. They're surrounding in the path while they're monitoring with communication devices. And so I just want you to have that imagery of what is the purpose of their driving by, of their walking by, of their surrounding, and it is for the purpose of surrounding in the path, which is what is group stalking. You're not doing it by yourself. You're doing it as an entity, a demon possessed one that is focused on a person all together. Okay, and at the same time, which is supernatural. How do you have this in sync conduct? How do you have this ongoing maintenance of an impossible environment, one that is entirely unnatural, which is the evidence of group stalking? Because it is of Satan. It's demonic. That's how you have that. This is the conduct of those that are engaging in what is maintenance of presence, as opposed to going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. The entity is stalking. The entity is repeatedly maintaining presence and surrounding, if you will, with these electrical cords, which you cannot see. You're monitoring with communication devices, so you can't see like a Wi-Fi signal. All right, this is significant for what is the monitoring conduct. They're maintaining presence. They're in operation of their communication devices in a specific environment and surrounding me perpetually wherever it is that I go, not only physically but with this engineered light and with ongoing activity methods of activity creation. All right, so license 8XVU388, listening to my just sitting here stalking in the parking lot of 7-Eleven at 1601 Arrow Boulevard and on Fontana, California, at the intersection of Juniper and Arrow. It's 10:03 a.m. 7LZE 214. Let's see. Fontana Police Group stalking as well. They are always group stalking by what I'm speaking to. When I'm in the city of Fontana, you're understanding what group stalking is. Law enforcement is engaging in the system of group stalking, wherever it is that you are. You're talking about what is engaging in the pattern of conduct whereby they are threatening you, intentionally crossing the path in order for you to witness it, okay? Especially while they're monitoring your documentation. That's the impermissible threat. 5WFA 529. 8WCW 045. And it's 10:04 a.m. Right, paper plate AC51N38, 8WPN 539, 6TQV144, 4DRR161, 7TIP953, 8WYT124. It's 10:14 a.m. Completing a purchase inside of the 7-Eleven at 16701 Arrow Boulevard. 7JUL836, 7HLX734, 8GBK979, 8DVD748, 66060B3, Burtech Crossing Path, 60PZU Handicap. This is a red Fiat. License 20333A3. 8PXB920, 8JLB286, 8W2B943, 8GYY044, 5WBF643, 86995A3, I believe. 7104 T11, I believe. 8KJN576, 8HRV656, 7KYW438, 8SBX651, 8SXH802, 6GPT942, 8, oh, I think I read that already. 8HWD964, 8XYY626, 8UVH296, 8TRP944, 6DXJ 174. Eight LRV 635. 7 GCR 172. 7 TWW 738. 6 PVJ 358. 7X ZB 241. 8 LJF 928. 6LNH 409. 7CNT 904. 7THU 579. 7VZF 749. 8FBD 125. 181HK handicap. Stalking with the state, who you hear amplifying plane engines, 7PRV 012. 5ZGE 902. 8URZ 499. 7R29486. 5YRA 121. 8FIM 531. Excuse me, 5FIM 531. 9AKW 454. And this is the same Nuevo. This is the street Nuevo that I was standing at when I'm showing you what is federal group stalking and monitoring as I stood. 8XQV052. 6LNH409, yeah. As I stood at the United Steelworkers Local 7600, it's a third-party facilitating venue, and that which is not possibly the sun directly over my head. As I also showed you what was the clock above the Fontana Lewis Library, where at the same minute the sun is not over that clock, but it is over me at both locations, which is a very clear vision of what is stalking with the fake sun while I'm on the grounds. And I'm showing you what is that same property when I'm not on the grounds, and the maintenance of a light source. This is what the entity is doing as I'm in a different city, as I remain on a different location on the same street. This is how you have what is not possibly the sun 12 hours later at 7:04 p.m. By the way, in alignment with that same Fontana Lewis Library, as I'm inside of it and walking outside to show you what is the maintenance of that light source. This is Nuevo, and this is group stalking 5EYL260. 8AWE242. 7KHG 7KHG623. 7KYW293. 8LDT324. 7NQT168. 08886M2. 8UEL 766. 65441U1. 25239N1. 5PCJ 449. 7KTU 180. TOPGRAM 9E76. 4NU 8774 is the back license plate. 35831T2. That's a large truck. 8AB, excuse me, when I said the back license plate, that's a large truck. 8JNN698 1498582 8SJH456 7G 85815 7 I can't really see that one. 7PJN921 7DEX879 license EB668 handicap 5XGT628 and yeah, I read those. 10:22 a.m. $196WF handicap and 8SZG701 8VEL534 BEZ1P33, that's paper. And it's 10:23 a.m. 85594W2 license plate 5JWU139 7KVT275 6XTE135 6TUJ466 7K72786 8BZL078 8JZM248 669272 91773D2 8RXW143 7LSV326 73189E2 8RTA144 6SJE360 7XDZ466 8RJV207 7ZHS717 and I read that minion's license plate 6WFH306 and it's 10:25 a.m. I am at the Fontana Lewis Library where the entity is keeping a fake sun over me and we're keeping it over the venue. The entity is engaging in covering up that light source, making it what is a subdued light source that is no less fake, no less of a scientific impossibility, and no less present remaining over my head and over the venue where I'm at. And that is the case right now. It's 10:25 a.m., which is already also documented with what the entity is doing everywhere, including at the Fontana Lewis Library with the fake sun and directed light. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, you do have what is the entity group stalking in the bathroom, and this is Master Corp. These are demon-possessed third parties in the exact same environment, and the reason why I'm pointing that out is because you are group stalking through every single last person, and they are all demons that are wearing a means of identifying a company, Master Corp, inside of a state facilitating venue where you are engaging in what is that monitoring conduct inside of the bathroom. And that's the company again, Master Corp. They're group stalking. They're demons that engage in literally stalking audible activity, pushing around their little janitorial carts, doing so while engaging in the same exact demonic activity, the same exact facilitation of monitoring while the rest of these demons are engaging in surveillance, sitting around stalking all day. And that is Master Corp falling into a bathroom to engage in the P.O.C. on behalf of the same exact demon-possessed entity that's engaging in federal group stalking monitoring at the Fontana Lewis Library. So that's what I captured. It's 12:40 p.m. and that is that sex offender that's accompanied to be prosecuted as a sex offender. That's exactly what they're doing. And this is that which is in concert with the people of the state who are, again, the perpetual sex offender, engaging in what is entirely demented, like obsessive level of stalking, which follows, occurs, proceeds, remains underway inside of bathrooms. Okay, this is the same bathroom that also is filled with directed light, and walking through, flushing all the toilets is nothing other than relevant positioning, audible activity creation, and that which is occurring inside of a bathroom, speaking to that sex offender who was also maintaining real-time knowledge of what you're doing even while they are stalking outside of the bathroom doors. Okay, it's 12:41 p.m. This is P.O.C. Fontana Lewis Library. All right, so what you see in still images is criminal surveillance inside of the venue. And these are the demon-possessed, the people of the state who are literally stalking in a library. And you see that through what is the impossible light activity, where they appear to be focused on looking at book stacks and stacking books, which is supposed to be part of their job. and you're looking at what is the impossible light, in addition to what is the documentation that I've already captured with regard to the environment that's speaking to the truth and the condition of what the people of the state are doing on behalf of the state of California at this venue, which is the Fontana Lewis Library. These are a bunch of demons that sit around stalking with ongoing noise making and are also maintaining presence. This is stalking while ongoing noise is amplified inside of the library. For example, the impossible occurrence of what is the sound of traffic. Okay, this is not going to be the case inside of what is a this is more than one story. This is a very tall building. The Fontana Lewis Library is a huge building, as I've shown you, and the entity is sounding traffic, and it's occurring with simultaneity, for example, to what I'm doing online while they are engaged in an ongoing effort to try to obstruct what I'm doing online, which I've spoken about with regard to the Google Drive and whatnot. You have third parties that are group stalking, maintaining presence with communication devices and engineered light, stalking with noise, and maintaining group stalking presence while amplified noise is systematically maintained inside of the venue. And then you have what you heard in the background, if you could hear that. This is literally what they are. They're demons. These are third parties, or the people of the state, abandoning their communication devices, which are used as literally as motion detectors. They are sounding off with simultaneity to what I do. All right, and it's nothing other than a psychopath, and this is a group of them that are stalking inside of the library where I'm at, that engage in conduct as though they are focused on something else. This is the code of conduct by the demons who are engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring. I'm literally capturing pictures where you're looking at them staring at a computer or like they're reading a book, and you're going to pay attention to the directed light above their heads on the ceiling. Absolutely impossible light. A demon, a psychopath, okay, who wants to portray the image that they are normal and that they're doing anything other than stalking. And as I sit at this computer, FONADULT14, the entity maintains heavy traffic over on this side of the library. Now, the entity maintains impossible light in alignment with me on the walls. You'll see it on the floor. You'll see it in what is the trajectory, which is absolutely impossible. And I also captured what is the fake sun that remained after 7 p.m. last night, which is taking the record with regard to the latest I captured before and using it as an example in other cities was 6:38 p.m. The entity kept the fake sun after 7:04 p.m. And that was a 6-minute long video. So you're talking about what was approximately 7:10, 7:11 p.m. And that's while I remain inside of the building, remain at the address of the Fontana Lewis Library. I did not get on the bus and go to Ontario. I'm not on Hope Boulevard. I'm not on Euclid Avenue. The entity is aiming light inside of the depths of that library. You're going to pay attention to the still images and the video because I capture very compelling evidence in still images showing you where I'm being molested with light standing in the middle of the library. Okay, this is impossible light. That's a molestation. And then you'll have demons that are harassing you. Oh, you're not allowed to eat in here. Well, Satan, I guess you know exactly what I'm doing while you're monitoring, okay? In the same way that that's harassment. I want to be clear. So you're talking about what is, again, the target individual, say you steal a cookie, you steal a candy bar from 7-Eleven. These demons know exactly what you're doing. They're stalking and monitoring you. This is understanding what is the criminal, that is the entity. And then you're talking about you're dealing with demons who are also monitoring while your panties are down and paying close attention to you, and then that ongoing harassment underway while they're seeking to, I guess, just address what are the rules of the venue itself. Sure, you're not allowed to eat on the second floor, but you're allowed to engage in group stalking. You're allowed to engage in what is sexual violence, invading privacy as an entity, engaging in terrorism while you have Star Trek light shows inside of your library, and you all want to sit around like psychopaths, like everything is A-okay, like it's normal, and it's not. It's entirely disturbing. So, and that was yours truly, the overweight minion who's listening to me speak the truth about her right now, Miss Alyssa. All right, who's engaging in an ongoing admission while they continuously engage in harassment as an entity while their demons stalking around with the evidence literally above their heads, okay, behind their bodies while they're stalking in the path. And this is my aim, to show you how pathetic Satan is while I prosecute it. It is 5:26 p.m. This is P.O.C. inside the Fontana Lewis Library. Alrighty, it is 5:37 p.m. and this is, again, you got to understand every level of the group stalking system. This is the state of California. That's a government that doesn't have any business stalking you and monitoring you in a bathroom at that. But then you're talking about what's a whole other level. These are demons that are stalking you in a bathroom, and that's exactly what you're doing when you're engaged in obsessive surveillance. And that's to any degree, to every extent, in order to maintain obsessive presence, not only audibly, you're also talking about with regard to light and with regard to presence. And this is documentation of what is literally demons that are following into the bathroom. This is a third party, a sex offender, while Demon Trey, this is a minion that works here, is monitoring in the same venue. Okay, so I just want to speak to that. While the entity is filling the venue with directed light, you are stalking in a bathroom. You are present on behalf of the state that's engaging in stalking, and you are continuously engaging in that very threatening and very sexually demented and predatory conduct while ongoing documentation is underway. So this is speaking to what's relevant with regard to federal prison for the people of the state who are engaging in this criminal system with the government. And this is what they are continuously engaging in. So you're talking about what is that necessary legislation, but also what the ways in which uniform policy, zero tolerance with regard to what the entity is continuously doing now. Literally, I mean, a defeated effort. Nonetheless, you pay very close attention to it because it's speaking to what is a threat that a demented entity wages. Okay, while they are engaged in this ongoing obsessive stalking. You see that obsession through the light conduct. You see that obsession through the amplified audible activity, how ridiculous it is. The entity that engages in the pattern of conduct, it's speaking to what is an obsessive and asinine, i.e. desperate, okay, determined, and that's a threat by a government that's entirely demented. Okay, so you have what is literally an audience that's just sitting around in a library engaging in surveillance while you have this literal circus of an environment, and the entity engages in what is that which is impossible light activity on one day, and then as though you're supposed to forget, or like you would forget, or like any court is going to disregard what was already captured, which was an impossible occurrence in the first place. Meaning it's never capable of being captured, but for engagement in that pattern of conduct. And you are a psychopath who is stalking in bathrooms while you seek to try to conceal that environment that's already been captured. It's on video, it's part of the record, it's published on the internet, it's going toward your prosecution. So this is what the entity is engaging in, which is the pattern I've also shown you. This is the personality of Satan. This is the personality of the demon possessed. Okay, the same ones that are looking around, staring at a book while they're stalking you. All right, and the evidence of what Satan is doing is the light above in the ceiling inside of a building that's touching ceilings, that's flashing about into the depths of the building, on the inside of the building, whatever building that happens to be. It happens to be right now the Fontana Lewis Library, a wealth of documentation, speaking to nothing other than the P.O.C. And there is no moment where you're covering up that light source that is never there as a matter of nature and science, and is never creating the light activity that I've captured. So you have, at no point in time are you ever capable of maintaining some sense of normalcy. The abnormalcy, okay, the abnormality, the pattern of conduct has already been captured. Okay, and these demons are stalking in the bathroom. So I want to make sure I specifically note this on my podcast. It's 5:40 p.m. where this demon is stalking, representing the people of the state, monitoring everything that I continuously publish about this entity on the internet, and then going down the hall on surveillance cameras and chasing me into a bathroom, because that's exactly what they're doing. It's on behalf of that entity that's always chasing me now with helicopters and by demon-possessed law enforcement officers and fire departments and ambulances stalking me. And you're doing it in a bathroom, and I would be remiss to point that out every single time, because that's exactly what the entity is doing. It's 5:41 p.m. This is P.O.C. On one more note with regard to the sexually violent pattern of conduct that this entity is engaging in with regard to surveillance and group stalking in bathrooms. The entity following with again, this is a third party of the male gender, because I don't refer to these are not men. This is not man. This is not manly. There's nothing man-like about it, but you happen to be of the male gender, or at least you're walking into the men's restroom. This third party, this demon, walks in relevant position into the male's restroom, and this is on surveillance camera in front of me. You're group stalking the entire time. You are manning the path, and doing so by entering into the men's restroom. And so what I also want you to do is you need to get this picture in your mind because this is what is underway. You're dealing with what is Satan. Satan knows what's going on in a room that you're in where you may not be physically in the presence of anyone. This is a demon that goes into the men's restroom with every intent to maintain presence in the path, with also knowledge of what's going on in the women's restroom where I go. Okay, and this is based on their condition, which I've already shown. This is not just criminal, it's demonic. And this is the sexual violence of a demon-possessed entity that's engaging in group stalking and monitoring with communication devices. It is relevant positioning. It's the maintenance of presence in the path. This is interstate stalking. It's interstate stalking in a bathroom, and it's interstate stalking in a bathroom by a demon-possessed entity. So this is entirely gross conduct for you to walk into this restroom in relevant position, intending to maintain relevant position with a woman in the women's restroom while I'm engaging in what is private, personal activity. You maintain ongoing knowledge, and then you're talking about what is engaging in additional surrounding conduct while minions of the female gender enter the women's restroom, which is what I documented. You have demons of the male gender that are group stalking in the men's restroom. Okay, so I just want to be clear. This is the entity that's acting, and I want to make sure I point out that gross aspect of what the entity engages in, and it is entirely predatory. Okay, it is very, very sick and sexually motivated conduct. It is unfathomable, the level of that the entity goes to engage in ongoing group stalking and monitoring conduct. It is in a ceaseless manner. It's 5:46 p.m. All right, capturing still images of what is, again, this is with the assistance of the demons who are affiliated by employee status, specifically Mr. Demon Tray. He pronounces his name Demontre, but he is a tray of Satan. That's Demon Tray. The African American, he's a sex offender. He's monitoring me in the bathroom. He's also escorting third parties in relevant position while they're monitoring together. And right where you see them stalking in the path, directed light on the ground, the same scene where I captured the entity engaging in what is fanning directed light, flashing all across the ceiling and in between the book stacks. This is where they're engaging in group stalking. And I want to document where they're stalking also. And this is just in front of me. They fill this venue. They're all sitting behind me. You got this dark minion that's over here sitting at the computer. Well, actually, she's group stalking, sitting at a desk. She's not at a computer. She's on the opposite side of the computer, group stalking in the path, engaging in an ongoing effort to obstruct publishing documentation. This is what the entity is doing all day. And the entity also sounding helicopter activity, okay? While they're outwardly conducting themselves as though they're focused on doing something. That's what Satan is seeking to look like they're doing something, okay? The only thing that they're doing is stalking. They're monitoring. And as I've already shown, the entity stalking by helicopter at this very venue. That's exactly what the entity was sounding inside of this library as I am at this moment, which would be seen on my Facebook page. You can look at it because this is what I'm doing in real time. And the entity, as I begin doing this, publishing my podcast as of from April 3rd up to right now, I'm up to April 21st, 2022. And as I start publishing my podcasts, the entity sounds helicopter activity. This is the same entity that's stalking me in a bathroom, okay? That government is entering into bathrooms by these same minions who fail at wanting to appear normal. They're not. This is Satan. This is the demon possessed engaging in a criminal system that I'm not only revealing, I'm going to prosecute them for the sex offending psychopaths that they are, okay? And this includes the employees that are monitoring with the minions that are stalking in a library. It's 6:20 p.m. and so the still images that I'm capturing where you're looking at, they're concentrating on presence and relevant position to me, patrolling back and forth, maintaining presence. They're doing it in direct light where the entity is also amplifying helicopter activity. These are psychopaths. Okay, these are the cockroaches of humanity, and I'm just speaking to the pattern of conduct that they're engaging in. And then you pay attention to their the outward conduct. It's the same thing when I captured them on video. Directed light all over their face, the fake sun over their head, the light activity all over inside of the building, and they just look around like, just like nothing's happening. And this is entirely pathetic. And so I do want to document that this is Demon Tray, who was group stalking with the minions. And again, the presence is key. So whatever you're doing in relevant position, you're doing it on behalf of the state, where the state is also sounding helicopter activity inside of the library. The library where minions like to engage in harassment and state essentially that I'm not supposed to be documenting while they're engaging in terrorism, right? You're talking about a delusional psychopath. I'm going to drag them in court. It's 6:21 p.m. All right, with regard to federal group stalking and monitoring, which is a satanic targeting system operated by a government in concert with a demon-possessed people that are referred to legally as the people of the state when you prosecute them in a federal court. this is described better by video than in words. And so I did cut to video so you can see the entity that is indeed stalking by helicopter. Like I already stated was the case, the entity has been engaged in ongoing stalking by helicopter, this is group stalking. The entity is always stalking by helicopter in the same way that law enforcement are engaged in stalking. This is a surveillance system. They're always stalking. I document, being a human being, as the ordinary target individual would do, what it is that you're witnessing. The entity engages in crossing path before your eyes and or ears in order to communicate a threat, especially while you're documenting it. Okay, and so as I spoke a while ago with regard to the entity stalking by helicopter, while you're looking at these psychopaths, Demon Trey, all right, and the minion that's standing in directed light as though they're focused on looking up some sort of research, some sort of book. You can look up whatever you want. The entity is stalking in the path in directed light with the entity that is indeed, was, and is, as I captured on video, stalking by helicopter. The entity was literally flying in circles by helicopter, and so I did stop the I did immediately cut out to video, and I also took a screenshot of what is obstruction. While they are monitoring, the entity intends to obstruct my documentation in any form, and what I have is a screenshot of the podcast that I was in the midst of capturing is obstructed. This is the P.O.C. While they're monitoring as well. I captured that as well. It is video, though, that I do have, and it's 6:40 p.m. And like I said, the demon-possessed janitors stalking in the bathroom, the demon-possessed people of the state, these male and female genders surrounding me with that entity that's stalking by helicopter, all of them in directed light, present amongst what is amplified audible activity. That is inside of the library where these minions engage in harassing me. Speaking of being quiet, keeping the noise down while they're engaged in terrorism, okay, at that. And the entity is flying over that library that's supposed to be quiet by helicopter. And what do you see on video? Demons that literally look ridiculous engaging in that same code of conduct as though it's not happening. Okay, that's the pattern of conduct. That's the pattern of witnessing what is the prosecution for terrorism, how the entity is engaging in terrorism in the U.S., and that very, very demented conduct that the entity engages in, which is highly unpersuasive. It is in no way any suggestion of ignorance or innocence whatsoever. It shows you the personality of Satan, which is a very demented and highly delusional, very dangerous psychopath. That's what's shown through the silence, through the ongoing persistence of presence. They are determined to continue stalking while they look the opposite direction as you document them. That's federal prison. So I want to be clear, it's 6:41 p.m. and this is video documentation that I will be publishing. This is P.O.C. at federal, excuse me, I'm speaking of federal prosecution. I'm going to drag this. This is San Bernardino County. I've already named the minions that are going to federal prison. This is more evidence against, they're going to federal prison. It's 6:42 p.m. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, 8:13 p.m. 8GKW483. This is the group stalker that is in the parking lot, stalking in the path with light, literally breaking down these demons, the people that state their conduct. They are maintaining ongoing corporate presence and hovering with regard to specific knowledge as to where I'm located. And that demon, because that's their condition as well, that also engage in stalking in the bathroom, same knowledge of everywhere I'm at, everything I'm doing. This is a demon that's literally sitting in their vehicle waiting for me to walk whatever direction that may be, very likely the same direction that I typically go, and they're sitting in their vehicle waiting to use it as a method of being in the path in line with me with light activity and directed light. That's a demon that engages in that pattern, and the entity does this on a consistent basis. That's that third party stalking in the path as I walk out of Fontana Lewis Library at 8:13 p.m. on surveillance cameras. 7ZRM875, 9AMJ532, 7XLP552, 5XIH001, 6CBS384, 8CQE504, 8CEF211, 8BBA975, 7ZXV504, 6NTJ174, 8NIJ356, 7RNR523, 6RIN027, 6VPL373, 7BCJ070, 8LIV173, 8JFY588, and it is currently 8:15 p.m. Directed light moving across the Fontana Chamber of Commerce, which is absolutely impossible light activity. No demon that is driving, excuse me, let me put this, no normal person that is not engaged in this demonic system of federal group stalking and monitoring, their headlights, where they will be driving on the street that is not in the parking lot, not in alignment with the building of Fontana Chamber of Commerce, their headlights are not going to be moving across the glass of the Fontana Chamber of Commerce, which is the demonic pattern of stalking with light, directed light, by the way, because their headlights are not fanning out from where they're driving by driving on Arrow Boulevard. That's impossible light activity. 7YIA533. I just want to point that out. As impossible as I've captured here at this same venue, the Fontana Chamber of Commerce, 8:56 in the morning, fake sun over my head. 5:02 p.m., fake sun over my head, same address. 8ABA381, 8RJS973, 50508E3, 8ZQA256. BV71V96. 7HZZ878, 7YCY734, 8UDL293, 8NND983, 7UEW158, 8CMR605. I don't see a license plate in this vehicle. And it is 7YDA153. 8NKR768, L2, 12 Heart, LIFE, 5LFB 858, 7LXR 865, 8ZDG 944, 8YZL 226, 8YYF 014, 5RKJ 395, 4ULP625, 7ZUC964, 8NJR431, 6GYH631, 7MLV913, 3SGY125, 5YGJ459, IVEK24, 7GNF008, 7ATU916, 9ALJ171, 7XGF656, 8HO3773, 7NFJ044, 6SCM648, 6TXR140, 7ZJD227, 7SVK897, 60538J3, 8SRV146, 27014D3, 8GOJ022, 6XIG216, 8YIS561, 7UJC149, 3KHK597, 8KOJ001, got a demon sitting over here at the off of Learner in the parking lot of the Fontana Lewis Library, a demon that's focusing light onto a surface. This is entirely demented. It's not normal at all. It's stalking with light. It's very highly disturbing, especially as a bunch of people do it around you and you understand it has significance. They're not just sitting in their car with their headlights on. They're a demon that's manifesting light, and demons are fixated on surrounding and touching everything with this engineered light. This demon's license plate is 8S81413, 8VBL055. SSA411, HNTMBLE. And by the way, this is the ongoing demonic knowledge. This is the sex offender with that same knowledge. This is the obsessed stalker, the psychopath with the ongoing knowledge. While I am at the Fontana Chamber of Commerce, the opposite side of Learner, all right, I can see the vehicle over here, but I mean, again, if this person you're talking about, assuming they're not a stalker, the pattern of conduct is established. I'm showing you group stalking is underway. But nonetheless, ordinarily, you wouldn't even know that I'm standing in that parking lot over there, right? like I said, the moment that I turn around and I pay attention to this demon who is stalking in the path of light, immediately they turn their lights on. Whereas I noticed them a long time ago. They've been sitting in the parking lot with their lights on. The moment that I turn around and notice them, to their knowledge, because I turn and fix my body and my sight on them, those demons know that. Immediately they turn their lights off, which is also the creation of light activity, by the way. 26116F2, 7SQJ489. 7PLE328, GUDMRNG, 8NHL518. License 7VLZ048. And the license plate that I could not see over here, I believe it is 8VLR385, I believe. Make sure I read all of it. It's 8VLR385. That's one, yeah, that did not have a front plate. Okay. That's 8VLR385. It is currently 8:21 p.m. License 8GHN127. 3MQX233. 6W08960, 7RAV322, 7DRP876, 6YZV398, 7AYK017, 8MED181, 8ZAD382, 8PSF477, 8NOL271. City of Fontana, group stalking over here as well. 1622254. License 8LKX531. License 5FEN172. And that's the municipalities molesting me, stalking me, monitoring me while my panties are down. That's the people of the state acting directly and vicariously. 7RUL500, 8P, I can't really see that one. It is 8:23 p.m. 6YZJ214, 8ZEY822, 6DQC, hold on, I can't see. 6DQC, 778, 8YK, I can't see that one, actually, scratch that one. 7SSC063, 7JZE, oh, I can't see the rest of them. You can scratch that one. It is 8:24 p.m. All right, and I did, they're all molesting. These are demons that are manifesting light. I have broken down, I went into detail before. The pattern of conduct has revealed that which is not normal light. Your headlights are not reaching miles away in order to touch in impossible manners. These are demons that are manifesting light, okay? Manifesting light while they are, again, hiding behind headlights. That you would assume that that light that you see, that light that is touching you, that light that surrounds you is actually attributed to what it is that you're looking at, which will be a vehicle with headlights on. But that is not the case. These are demons that are manifesting light. These are demons that are engaging in an ongoing and demonic orgy. And why do I describe it in that manner? Because they are engaging in what is sexually violent and predatory conduct based on their ongoing obsessed objective to touch, surround, and molest. That is what it is when they're touching your person, violating your person, doing so without your consent, doing so while you're documenting what it is that you suspect by the state, and intentionally and repeatedly and relentlessly engaging in what is touching all over your body, touching on the same parts of your anatomy with what is that which is not even naturally occurring. Okay, but let me be clear, even if they were going around holding lamps that they bought from IKEA, and they were all aiming lights that was not born of Satan itself, but say they were holding lamps and aiming light in this regard all over you in a manner that is literally that which is not otherwise to be determined, described as directed light. You're talking about light that's just appearing while you're driving in your car. That's a demon, okay? And It is literally the admission that you're a demon, period. Okay, that's how ridiculous the pattern of conduct is, as I've documented it in video documentation. It is insurmountable. It is irreducible. All right, it is in no way capable of being reduced or diminished or disregarded in a federal court. Capturing the demonic. Okay, relevant to criminal conduct. License BUZW 38, I believe. I can't really see that one. So anyway, even if they were to buy a bunch of, say, for example, these, the people of the state were carrying around lamps that they bought from somewhere, Lowe's, Walmart, IKEA, whatever, and their objective is to touch you with light. Okay, you're talking about what is still an ongoing objective. It is highly demented, okay? They always want to touch you with light, all right? And they're doing it in what is a manner that is not otherwise attributed to what is literally of the demonic. All right, you are a whole demented psychopath while you literally spit out light, whatever you want to call yourself doing while you're driving by, walking by, flying over, and light is just all over the place like Star Trek, and I've captured it on video such that it will not be Satan's word against mine. I'm going to prosecute you based on objective evidence that is piled up for years, okay? BN93R65, that which is impossible to happen once has happened thousands of times as a matter of a record in order to prosecute. ICEYDEE, that's license plate. So, say this was the case. You're talking about what is not even that. It's not even light that's coming from a light bulb. All right, that which we can see and understand. We all understand what are light bulbs and light that's created. This is light that's coming just out of the, where is this light coming from? It's not sunlight, okay? The light source, and I'm not getting into the fact that it's not the sun. That's a whole other obstacle for the entity. That's an obstacle that they can't get around either. I'm just talking about the fact, okay, let's say that that's the sun. I'm not even going to argue that. Excuse me.
Sure.
I'm not even going to argue that right now. That light source, the sun being over you, does not create this light activity that I capture at all, ever, under any circumstances. It is literally the admission. It is Satan is essentially saying when they engaged in that, as they continuously engage in that, the state directly and vicariously, yes, it is Satan, it is I. That's literally what they're saying. It is an admission. That is relevant for the prosecution for what is federal group stalking and monitoring and for what is terrorism while government engages in federal group stalking and monitoring. 7AVM 926, I believe. License 6FCN 823, 8YYK 235. And so, say that this is the case, they're touching you with light, they are still touching your person. It is serving what is a criminal system that you are to be familiarized with, but this is entirely criminal. It is criminal to engage in what is federal stalking. That's why there is existing federal law. I'm speaking to what are the elements of monitoring that the entity is engaging in order to maintain an ongoing system of surveillance whereby a government and a people are monitoring you with communication devices. That is surveillance. And the element includes what is the ongoing maintenance of light surrounding you and touching you while you are engaging in what is an ongoing obsessive endeavor to stalk and touch with anything, your hand, your genitalia, or light, serving a criminal purpose to monitor. You shall be prosecuted as a sex offender the same. Okay? This is understanding what is that same violation of a person, that same unlawful and unconsented touch, doing so by a government and a people. And it's even that which is not even occurring from a natural light bulb that you would buy from the store or the sun that is normal sunlight. No. The entity is going even farther than that. You're talking about that which you have not, there is not even a definition. There's no way that you can reference what the heck this entity is doing with this engineered light, because that's what it is. It's not even normal light, and they're touching all over your body. They fill buildings with it, surround you with it, all right? Engage in invading and attacking you with it. That's literally what they're doing so that they can monitor you by it. All right, so this is, yes, that's a sex offense. And the entity engaging in this, the people of the state literally demonstrating their demon possession while they do that, while they're present, and it's ongoing. And they look every which way while the entity is engaging that. They are the entity engaging in it. Okay, so I just want to document right now, I'm at 7-Eleven at 16701 Arrow Boulevard. These minions are on surveillance cameras, group stalking at the register, group stalking standing outside of the door, shell gasoline across the streets creating light activity. This fake church that I documented on Sunday at 5:02 p.m., the fake sun over their venue, they're stalking in the path. The entity is maintaining light activity on the street of Arrow Boulevard as I walk down, so I did not stop to describe that because I wanted to go through what is the analysis for understanding the perpetual sex offender and what demons are doing, their fixation with light. light, and then it's light that's not even naturally occurring, yes, that is directly relevant to what is the extent to which you have gone to violate the person. It is relevant what you are doing with regard to the elements to monitor. This is sexual violence underway, while criminal monitoring is the system that is in operation. All right, so anyway, the entity is engaging in what is maintaining light activity, and that's shell gasoline, flashing light. That's not a malfunction. It's demonic. It's facilitation. The entity is engaging in flashing of light, which is a site on the side of the this little fake church called I forgot the name of that fake church. It's very forgettable. But I will prosecute them, and I won't forget what they were engaging in and what they're doing right now. It's a bunch of demons. I read some of their license plates while I was walking down the street. And the entity is engaging in stalking the path with light, sitting in their vehicles, sitting in large trucks, and flashing light on the properties. And that includes Shell gasoline. And I will read that address. I'll actually document that. I'll document that on my website. It's 8:31 p.m. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, capturing molestation by 7HRE824. Monitoring at the 7-Eleven. This is at 16701 Arrow Boulevard. This is again that demonic pattern of aiming light. Again, this is engineered light. This is not normal light. They're doing so for purposes of what is the ongoing pattern of conduct. That same government flying around me in a helicopter. They are stalking at the 7-Eleven. They are sex offenders touching while they're stalking, 6RPD 189, and harassing this minion that works here at the 7-Eleven, engaging in what is harassment, hostile, while you're stalking and threatening the life of an American citizen. And you're hostile because you're a demon, and I'm telling that, and I'm also aware and documenting your criminal activity. So I do want to document that while they're engaging in sexual violence together, capturing the minion that's here, they're molesting together, he's crossing paths, appearing as though he's, he's not appearing as though he actually is carrying inventory, right? This is your form for stalking on behalf of the state, though. There is no form, and you're talking about what is absolutely relevant with regard to why you are in relevant position facilitating a government's ability to monitor, all right? And this woman is on surveillance camera. She's the one that's molesting, and so is he. He being the one that's in relevant position monitoring at 7-Eleven, engaged in a sex offense. They're monitoring with minor children as well, under 18 and relevant position, which is the P.O.C. by the people of the state, period. License plate 95930E2. This is the minion that I see that I captured in still images. He is carrying inventory and crossing path. That's his method of crossing path. That's his method of presence. The entity relies on what is some reason as to why they are present. And also anonymity, meaning they don't know you. So there is nothing with regard to, these are the false premises upon which group stalking is based. And it has nothing to do with what is the prosecution of a government. And it's absolutely irrelevant where government is, where the government is engaging in surveillance in the ways that it is, through the presence of third parties. They are present for whatever reason. It's not I'm present because I work at X, Y, and Z. Well, the fake sun and directed light and amplified audible activity, and the state is stalking directly by police, fire, ambulance, helicopters, and airplanes. So I don't give a crap about where you say you work or where you think you belong. You are at a facilitating venue, and I'm going to drag you, meaning I'm going to prosecute you, and you are going to federal prison, warranted under the facts. You're talking about Fontana Lewis Library, where I just documented that. I told you she's going to federal prison. She's not the only one, though. I don't even need to say her name because I know she heard me echoing her name all week. All week. She's going to federal prison. Yes, she is. 8TPL229. 8WGE620. 8UER529. 5LVS234. 8TQH908. Excuse me, that's 8TOH908. CNS Apartments, some little bootleg apartment complex. They're monitoring 27839U1, 8ZDM795, 7VXF, 554, 8AYV410, 8VWH153, 8VLZ935, 01836E3. 8WWV664, 7VJE022. It is 8:42 p.m. and that is leaving from third-party facilitating venue 711 at 16701 Arrow Boulevard in Fontana, California, at the intersection of Juniper and Arrow, where Shell Gasoline, right across the street, is stalking in the path. Shell Gasoline, the company, is engaging in a molestation. I'm being molested while the entity is monitoring me. That is the prosecution. That is federal charges against that company that's engaging in facilitation, present in relevant position, engaged in state surveillance, which is also why I was able to capture what is not possibly the sun at 5:19 p.m. Directly over my head as I stood at that same exact intersection just the other day, which is the same street, by the way. I mean, steps away on the same sidewalk, same side of the street at 10:09 in the morning. And that same street at that, I mean, it's literally at the same block at 5:19 p.m. Again, capturing the demonic, that which is impossible. And this is just the result of maintaining systematic documentation of what is stalking with an entire environment. You are stalking with the environment because you're a group stalker. All right, and you are caught red-handed thinking that you would never be identified as a stalker because you're basing it on what your name is and where you think you live and how you think you're protected by some engaging in some activity while you're present in relevant position in that specific environment that an entity is stalking with, showing you to be a malicious acting demon-possessed psychopath who's a violent sex offender. And you're going to be prosecuted with the government that's engaging in that satanic targeting system. 8AKH629. You're flipping that whole system on its head. It's entirely malicious from its outset. All right. And it is designed to obstruct justice, and the pattern of conduct of obstructing justice, like the Fontana Lewis Library has engaged in, and they're not by themselves, I'm just using them as an example, 6JLT350, is built in. It is embedded into the pattern of conduct. All right. This sex offender that is molesting, license plate 8UHS168, has nothing to do with headlights. They're demons that are manifesting light. In the same way that you see directed light that moves across buildings, moves across the asphalt, is racing all over the place on top of roofs and whatnot when it's in action, when it's dynamic, and also that stationary directed light. These are demons. This is the demon possessed. This is what Satan has the ability to do. This is what the demon possessed are capable of engaging in. And it is that which is speaking to their condition. They are sitting there in relevant position while directed light is on the ceiling. They are demons that are aware of it. They are stalking you. And they like to touch on, like, that third party's license, and every single last person I'm documenting right now, you hear Metrolink in the background. This is the prosecution of an entire entity that's monitoring, engaging in a sex offense while that third party comes from behind, that which is impossible light activity, touching me from behind in the way that I would not allow any stalker with anything attached to them or their person at all, but touching because you're a stalker, and doing so as the government. The same government that I captured at Fontana Lewis Library, flying around me, flying in circles over me at the Fontana Lewis Library. Yes, they are monitoring. Yes, demons manifest light. Yes, demons are violent sex offenders, and that their demonic activity is now serving for their prosecution. As you are analyzing what they are doing as demons, which is serving a criminal monitoring system by the state. All right. And as you are analyzing what demons are doing to place you under surveillance with the state, you are understanding that that mentality, the motive, the mens rea, if you will, behind the conduct. And that's how you're understanding what's a sex offender, the motive behind the patterns of what they are engaging in. And you are able to criminalize it based on what their intention is, based on what the purpose, the objective is, based on what that ongoing violation of the targeted individual is. 6ZOV637. Sitting at stoplights, engaging in group stalking is whereby you are engaging in conduct where it is the objective to maintain with light, touch with light. You are a predator waiting to touch somebody in the same way that any other sex offender waiting to touch a little 5-year-old. Now that it sounds reprehensible to you, but you need to understand it's as reprehensible while a government and a people are engaging in that predatory conduct, and it's demonic. It's got a twist. They're doing so with what is light to touch you because they want to monitor you. You don't have a right to touch at all. And you're touching as freaks with light that's not even normal. Okay? They're literally disgusting and cockroach-like conduct, creeping all around, touching all over you with their engineered light so they can keep you under surveillance, stalking you. Okay? 5WVG592. That's a system of group stalking. All right, and so, like I said, that is a sex offender touching, and as I'm reading these license plates, they're all being documented together, including Metrolink. That's audible activity while I'm being molested with directed light, and then that demon comes and touches me from behind with what is engineered light. 8GQW726, driving by in a vehicle, manifesting light, stalking with light, molesting in the path on behalf of the state. While this psychopath is listening, they know exactly where I'm at, walking down the street, every license plate that I'm reading, and everything that I'm stating, that I'm how and the ways in which you are identifying the demon possessed and how you're going to prosecute the demon possessed. 68058V2 93579T1, directed light at 866. What is this street name? I will get the street name right now. While they are engaging in demonic, the demonic is present while they're holding up a sign talking about Jesus Christ. Those are my favorites. I love it. Those are my favorites because those are the ones I want to teach you about. Make sure that you understand that you will never be deceived. And that's why I'm documenting all these fake churches engaging in demonic activity in your face, standing outside touting the Bible, talking about, yes, Jesus loves me, Jesus loves you too, sister, while they're monitoring you. That's the conduct of Satan. That is what Satan does. Yeah, 8666 Rosanna. This is at Rosanna and Orange. I just want to document that. That's an act of terrorism. While I'm being molested, that's a sex offender, the people of the state residing in relevant position, engaging in the pattern of conduct. And that is literally a method of documentation. And also, while I'm standing there documenting, you have what is flashing directed light. That's an act of terrorism. This is what the entity is doing everywhere, stalking you with light, trying to terrorize, trying to scare the crap out of you with this weird light activity. Oh, but they did it to the wrong one because I'm going to use that. I'm going to prosecute you. I'm going to document it. Make sure you understand it. You that are witnessing what I'm doing, prosecuting the entity, revealing demonic activity, showing you and hoping that you learn the personality of Satan, that you, first of all, understand that Satan is pathetic. Satan is a defeated, created being who relies on a whole bunch of minions who are inferior, especially while they're stalking you. There's a reason for that. Okay? And so anyway, that is at 8666 Rosanna in Fontana, California. The people of the state residing in relevant position, engaging in a sex offense. I'm subject to terrorism at the venue, that's the facilitating venue where those minions live. 7PKH591, and it is currently 8:49 p.m. And I'm walking on Orange Way toward the Fontana Metrolink train station. 7UXL862. FVE201. JFN091, 9AKR404, 6DQU508, 8UPX982, 6WHS710, 'It is currently 8:51 p.m. All right, I'm in trans route 61, stalking in the path with light activity, license 1545837, bus 2360, and route 66. This is bus number 2362. Stalking in the path with light activity. Metrolink creating light activity and audible activity as well. License 1545805 is Route 66. That's the old white man with white hair. And Metrolink is arriving going eastbound at 9 p.m. That's amplification. It is 9:03 p.m. It is 9:04 p.m. That is Metrolink that is going eastbound on the train tracks. This is P.O.C. All right, capturing what is group stalking conduct. This is a demon. She's got the hoodie on, the hood on her head. She's crossing path, meaning she's walking through the directed light with simultaneity to what I'm doing on my phone. So as I record about what Metrolink is engaging in, crossing path, light activity, amplified audible activity, which is also facilitation. And then as I proceed to save it, that's operation of my phone, and she's immediately rushing by. She's crossing path. This is the conduct that the entity is doing in a library, for example. This is what they're doing all day long. Wherever it is that I'm sitting on the computer, that's where they're focusing their attention on the books there. And and by focusing there, yes, there are people that are in other parts of the library. They are concentrating presence in relevant position in directed light. This is how you know it is intentional maintenance of presence in the path. It is absolutely impossible light activity inside of that library, and the entity is stalking by helicopters while they're focusing on the books in alignment to me. Doing so with regard to my movements and activity on a communication device. And so anyway, I captured that image at 9:04 p.m. as I'm saving what I just recorded about Metrolink. This demon is hurrying up. She's crossing path. This is a molestation by the entity. They're pacing on Orange Way, crossing path as well. It is 9:05 p.m. That is understanding what is the group stalking conduct. The objective is movement around demons' pace in this engineered light while they follow and molest and literally attack and invade with directed light. This is the objective, and it's entirely demonic. It's very demented. While you are aware of the P.O.C. and you have context as to what demons are doing as they do it, okay? It's very, very disturbing conduct. It's 9:06 p.m. This is P.O.C. All right, it's currently 9:10 p.m. This is Route 82, bus 1330. Stalking in the path with light activity, molested. License plate 1404974. Again, it's 9:10 p.m. All right, Route 66. This is bus number 1264. It is currently 9:14 p.m. License 1399979. All right, license. This is bus 1296, Route 19. Touching while they cross path. Got the sex offender going out of their way to touch with impossible light activity. 1420090. Molesting again at 9:15 p.m. That's the sex offender. That is omnitrans. All right, molesting again at 9:16 p.m. That is omnitrans. That is molesting at 9:16 p.m. immediately following the molestation by that was a demon driving Route 19. So you have 2 seconds later, as I utter the sex offender omnitrans, you have the same entity that then molests again. That's what this, and I took a still image of this sex offender who was touching with light. That's a Latino female that's getting out the passenger side on camera of the omnitrans here, the Route 61 that we're getting on. It's currently 9:16 p.m. Omnitrans is engaged in that molestation. All right, they are an entity acting as one with ongoing knowledge in real time as their activity is being documented. All right, that is also speaking to the level of sexual violence that the entity engages in. It's 9:16 p.m. All right, I do want to document the entity engaging in what is an ongoing, this is a molestation. So you're talking about a molestation with light. So the entity is touching with light that is not reaching over the bus in order to touch me while I'm sitting on a bench and the bus is in front of me. This is while the entity crosses path, molesting with what is directed light. Molesting again seconds later as I document it. This is the Latina. I captured close-up images of this Latina female who gets out of this vehicle, this Camry, and is engaging in a molestation. This is the demon that's monitoring me and arriving, which is a form for touch me with light. So anyway, the entity is engaging in this molestation again as I document that. Just repeat. This is a method of harassment. Touching with what is directed light, and then touching again with what is directed light, and just flashing me with what is directed light while I'm sitting on the bus bench. So I want to document that, and it's at what is Village at Sierra, the people of the state on Nuevo, the same street that I was documenting license plates this morning. So like I stated, this is the same exact entity that is engaging in the pattern of conduct, and this is the molestation with directed light at nightfall. It is the people of the state along Orange Way, along Nuevo. Village at Sierra, the Plaza at Sierra Apartments as well. This is the Fontana Metrolink train station where I'm at, sitting on the bus bench, and the entity is just repeatedly molesting with directed light. It's currently 9:20 p.m., so we are on the en route to Ontario now. This is the Latino male with the bald head I referred to, with the big nose and the bald head. He is engaged in that molestation and that harassment. I do not see his employee number, but I've documented him before. This is again the company Omnitrans, in addition to the people of the state who are operating the buses. And the display does say employee number 3528. Alrighty, this is P.O.C. 4YO. You can scratch that one, I can't see it. It is currently 9:24 p.m. We are passing Randall, so we're on Sierra Avenue going south on East Avenue. License 8FXG 272. BADW 159. Let's see. 8XTS 596. 17595A3. It's 9:26 p.m. 319BIZ 967332. BAKM 243 88904J2. 8BDT 555. Excuse me, 9:42 p.m. 8AER679. License 8SDX137, 7NMC761. Yeah, I read that one already. And at approximately 9:42 p.m., employee 3528 molesting. Light on the bus. The light turning off where I'm seated, in the section where I'm seated on the bus, as he opens the doors for stopping at the railroad tracks. The lights do not turn off in this manner at certain sections of the bus when ordinarily when you're opening and closing the door. This is a method of targeting. It's harassment, and it is molestation. License 6LKN763 8JRA014. And the entity engaging in opening the doors at the train tracks that are right there at the Fontana Metrolink train station. The lights on the bus did not turn off. I just want to be clear, that's not ordinarily how the bus lights work. I've ridden the bus plenty of times. 8ADR679 is crossing the path again, and they're all a part of that same ongoing method of what is targeted harassment and molestation. It is currently 9:46 p.m. We are at the Ontario Mills right now. C5ZNX166 molesting. We're at Milliken and 4th Street. License 8NDJ185 molesting. 78IZ850. 8SYT714. It's currently 10 p.m. The entity engaging in criminal summoning at the Ontario airport. This is the Ontario Police creating light activity, stalking in the path with light. It is 10:02 p.m. This is at Terminal 2.
Terminal 2, if you're using Alaska.
It's the Ontario Police with the white pickup truck. They are at the entrance of the Terminal 2 area. This is stalking in the path with light activity. It's criminal summoning. while the Ontario Police are in perfect alignment with the seat that I'm seated on, the seat that I'm in on the bus. This is the maintenance of light in the path while I'm sitting on the bus. And this is a way for, again, the police that are sitting in a vehicle using their police lights as light activity to literally stalk in the path while the bus is stopped in the middle of the road. All right, they're monitoring together. It's an iteration of the P.O.C. That is a criminal misuse and abuse of the vehicles of the state as it acts directly, engaging in the elements of monitoring, and it's demonic activity. It is currently 10:03 p.m. This is employee 3528 engaging in this sexual violence and this terrorism and monitoring, which is threatening with law enforcement as well. 10:03 p.m. P.O.C. 1510631, that's Ontario Police. Vehicle 1866, group stalking on the passenger side of this bus, which will be on the surveillance cameras of the bus, and it would be on the cameras at the airport. That's the Ontario Police on the at Terminal 4. They are group stalking crossing path while the bus passes by, and they're on the passenger side of the bus. It's 10:05 p.m. 7WVK 957, I believe. Currently 10:07 p.m. So we're on turning onto Airport Drive now, exiting out of the airport from Terminal 4. 88KJ572 53270F3. Molesting. Stalking in the path with light on the grounds on Airport Road. And they're monitoring while the entity is engaging in that. They're crossing path as well. It is currently 10:08 p.m. Alright, arriving in Ontario at Limon and Holt at 10:14 p.m. This is bus 2360 and with license plate 1545837, and that is employee 3528 engaging in the pattern of conduct with the people of the state and the state as acting directly. Where I am at, again, this is third-party facility moving Metro 102.
Federal law requires masks on board, and it stops. No mask, no ride.
8MPG911, 6PXA523, and employee 3528 is molesting and loitering with light activity. It is 10:15 p.m. Okay, so I'm taking still images right now, what I took at 10:16 p.m. Employee 3528 and these two minions that get on the bus at the stop that I got off on, they're engaging in crossing a path conduct. It's a variation of what is a third-party group stalker getting off the bus at the same bus stop as me. The entity is loitering on the bus. This is what you're looking at. They're standing there at the front of the bus where the bus driver is seated. They're sitting there monitoring while this minion that's operating the bus, employee 3528, is aiming light. He's molesting with light, and he's remaining there present in order to engage in a molestation where I too cross the street. But I was not going to do that. It's not even I'm not going to walk in front of that bus at the street right there to cross the street. But anyway, I took a picture of what is relevant positioning. They're group stalking together, and it's a picture of what is monitoring by the entity while they are standing there at the front of the bus. This is the reality of what they're doing. Minions are just standing there talking to him as though they're just standing there. The moment that I start taking pictures, he drives off. But I want to break down what they are actually doing. He is aiming light intentionally. The entity is monitoring through this ongoing molestation of light activity. They are patrolling on the street of Holt Boulevard. And this is the P.O.Cs. He's loitering at the stop, creating light activity and molesting with light. All right, and his form for standing there is being preoccupied talking to the passengers. They're all monitoring together. They're just standing there group stalking. So I start taking pictures and then he drives off. It is currently 10:17 p.m.